Backlinks. What are backlinks? How do they work? Why do you need them? Why are they important? All these questions will be answered in this bird's eye view level SEO rant. So first things first, my name is Jedian. I do videos on SEO, digital marketing, social media, blogging, stuff like that. So if you have a website or you're a content creator or anything like that, you might want to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button if you get anything from this content. So with that out of the way, let's get to the topic. Backlinks. So I think there's a little bit of a misconception with the term backlinks, internal links too. So let's clear that up. So a backlink is a link that you get from another website. All right, so let's say I have a blog and it's called thebestsportshoes.com, and I write an article about the best soccer shoes and the best soccer shorts or something like that. If I write a link in the content and it says, hey, if you're looking for the best shorts as well, click here and be taken to that page. And I just linked inside of my website to another page on my website. That is an internal link. That is not a backlink. And this is something that I think, just because the term link is there, people get kind of confused. They think that it's an internal link. Internal link is great, and it's internal link. And we'll talk about that in another video. This time, we're just talking about a little bit about backlinks. This can get pretty confusing. This is going to be a bird's level eye view stuff. This is not going to be for advanced SEOs, and this is not going to be too in depth. This is just the basics. So when you get a backlink, how does that look? What happens there? So someone saw your content and thought, hey, this article is relevant to what I'm writing about. It answers some questions, and maybe a user, I'm not going to dive too much into this topic, but this article does. Maybe the user would want to click on that one and check it out. What they do is they take, they highlight their text, they click on the link button, and then they add your website, Joe's sports blog or whatever I said earlier, and all of a sudden you have one backlink from that other website. You have one vote. Someone voted for your website and said, hey, this website clearly has good content relevant to what I was talking about. I will give them one vote. That's essentially what's happening there. You're getting voted. Now the value of that vote is variable. So what that means is if the website that I got that one vote from was just launched like 2 weeks ago, it's probably going to have almost no value whatsoever when compared to NewYorkTimes.com giving you that vote. That has a huge benefit. Huge benefit. If a big established website gives you a backlink, that means that Google is essentially saying, oh, whoa, BBC, New York Times, they're voting for this website. They looked at this page and saw it was trustworthy and credible enough to put on their huge platform where they get millions and millions of visitors a month. Well, then it must be vetted for it must be really good website. They're vetting for it, so we're gonna boost the ranks essentially of this website, or that web page rather. Page, not site. So that's the basics of how that works. That's how the basics of how backlink works. How do you get backlinks though? There's a couple of different ways that you can get backlinks. The first way is doing nothing. If you just have really good content and people search for it, how to change a bike tire, and then your article answers that question because it's on the first page, and someone read it and said, oh, okay, this answers how to change a bike tire. I'm gonna write an article about what the most important bike parts are, and in that article that I wrote, I'm gonna add a link to that other person's how to change a bike tire. I hope that's starting to make sense, and I think it is. The other way that you can get backlinks is simply by asking for them. Now you can't really ask, and you certainly can't take any money or any payment for a backlink according to Google's guidelines, but people do that all the time. It's kind of like I wouldn't even call it like black hat, or like it may be gray hat, but it's just like it's so done, especially to compete. I'm just gonna leave it there. Like it's done. People do it a lot. But the point is that Google doesn't want you to pay for links, but you can collaborate. You can ask someone, hey, I wrote an article about this topic also, and mine has a couple things that you missed. Maybe your users would like to check that out. Here's a link to my article. And you send that in an email, And then think about it. The person might just put a link to your website on their blog post because it might be relevant, and it might not. I mean, backlink outreach is a whole business in itself. There's actually companies that do just that. Backlink outreach. That's all they do. They craft emails, they send them out, and look, the open rate is pretty low. A random number out of every like 40 emails you send out to a website owner, you're probably gonna get like 5 responses or something, and maybe one will do it. I mean, those are just random numbers I pull out of my head. But the point is that sometimes people just can't be bothered with adding your link into their website, but sometimes they will, and that's where sometimes the monetization transfer subject comes back into play. But I don't condone that because I always do things the way the Google wants. Always white hat over here. And yeah, but the point is that it's okay to say, hey, I have a great article, maybe you'd be interested in checking out, and maybe your readers would like it as well. Here's a link. Another way that people get backlinks is they search for broken links on websites. So what they can do is use tools like Ahrefs, and it has a broken link checker on a website. What it does is it runs through the entire website and it finds any broken links. What is a broken link? A broken link is a link that when you click on it, it takes you to a page that no longer exists. Happens all the time. Think about it. If a website was, say, the New York Times has an article that's 6 years old that referenced a website about tennis shoes. That website no longer exists because the owner sold the website, deleted it, stopped paying for hosting. It doesn't matter. The website just doesn't exist. So when they click on that link, it's going to take them to a page that doesn't exist. This is called a 404 error. So page not found. So this is a great opportunity for you if you do write about tennis shoes or whatever it was that I just referenced, because then you can say, hey, New York Times, you're not going to contact them, but hey, I wrote something very similar to them. Your link is broken, but mine still exists. Maybe you can swap out the links. It'd be great for your readers. That's another way that people get backlinks. And yeah, people can get very creative with how they get backlinks, but those are really like the 3 main ones. It's organically doing nothing, just writing great content and hoping that it ranks. You can ask for backlinks. Of course, you're not supposed to swap out any kind of money for that or stuff like that, but you can suggest that you wrote something great and maybe they'd like to post it. And doing some broken link outreach. So you can contact website owners and tell them that if they have a broken link that they can replace their broken link with your working link. Oh, I almost forgot. Collaboration. So guest posting is a very popular way to get backlinks. What this involves is you writing content for free, hopefully, and then just giving that out to a content creator and saying, hey, I wrote you have a website about best kitchen knives. I have one too, and I wrote an article about how to sharpen your knives. I noticed you don't have one at all. I will be happy to write that for you or give you the entire article. You can have it for free. And inside of the article, I have a link to my website. But what you're essentially doing is you're a guest writer. You don't work for them. You don't own the website, but you're just saying, hey, I'll be a temporary writer. And when you do that, you have the opportunity to control the content on the page, and that gives you the opportunity to insert a link of your choice. There's a lot of services that do this, and a lot of them are shady and weird, and they'll reach out to you relentlessly if you're a website owner. And some of the content sucks. I got one once where it was just paragraph and then link, paragraph, link, paragraph, link. It was the weakest, weirdest content. It sucked. So be careful with those, the people who want to, be careful with the people who want to give you an article or guest post and stuff like that. Because sometimes the content is just bad, and if you actually host the content, that might be bad for your users. People won't come back. People won't like it. The article won't rank. It won't do much for you, and it might do more harm than good. But it can be very powerful if you have a person who is an excellent writer who is willing to write a great piece of content and the only thing they ask for in return is just to insert a link in their article that they're pretty much giving you for free. That can be powerful. So there's 4 ways of getting backlinks. I'm sure there's a couple that I missed, but if I did, please leave them in the comments. That's all I have for this SEO rant. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like button and the subscribe button so you can see more content like this, and it can get shown to other people who are interested in this topic as well. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.